Hello, my name is Antonio Sabato. I'm currently in my second semester at George Brown College for the Food and Beverage Management program. Today I'm going to be talking about a challenge that I had to overcome. As an individual who's worked in hospitality for a little over 12 years now, there's a lot of ups and downs that come along with working in the industry, and something that isn't nearly talked about enough is substance abuse. As an individual who developed a substance abuse problem personally, I decided a year and a half ago to check myself into a 60-day program followed by an outpatient program. Upon completing my 60-day program inpatient, I decided about a month after I was out of treatment that I wanted to get a job again. And working in hospitality is something that I'm still very passionate about. If anything, I developed an even higher passion for working with food after leaving. So, a big aspect against even some of my family's wishes and a big fear that I had to overcome was working in the industry again. I decided to go and apply to one of Toronto's more prominent restaurants as I felt I had the resume to back it up, and I ended up getting the job. I originally applied as a server, and upon my manager seeing that I had bartended for a very long time, they asked me to do a shift on the bar. And reluctantly, I agreed because I didn't want to say no to my new employers. And on my first training shift, the first biggest challenge of my recovery came into play. I went through all the motions, how the bar was set up, how it works, where the well is, everything. And then when we went into the wine program, that's when the scariness really clicked in. I'm very well versed with wine, especially Italian wine, and there was a few bottles that I was not well versed with. And I was honest with the head bartender, and I asked him what they tasted like. And he took the bottle out, poured a little bit in a glass, and he said, "Try it for yourself." It was in that moment that a lot of fear came in. If I did a taste and spit, was I off to the races? Was I going to go relapse? I worked really hard to get to a good place, and I didn't want to mess that up. And I didn't even want to let myself down. So I did eventually do a taste and spit, and it was something in that moment that clicked for me on a personal level that alcohol is not the problem, drugs aren't the problem, my thinking is a problem. I have a thinking disorder. And when I'm in a good place, those things don't bother me. Working with alcohol on a day-to-day basis is a challenge all in itself. As somebody in recovery, that's something that destroyed my life. But as I've worked a really hard program, I've worked really hard to get to the place that I'm at today, I've got no issues with it. I did do a taste and spit. I was able to describe what the wine tasted like to a T. And it was at that moment that I knew I could do something more. And today, I am one of Toronto's better bartenders, I feel. I was set to compete prior to the pandemic happening, and it was all because of that moment. That moment where I was able to do that taste and spit and not have an issue was a moment that I knew I could create. I could be what I was before, but even better. I didn't have to lie about anything. I've told my management today that I'm in recovery, and they're more than respectful of that. And if anything, some people at work have come up to talk to me and ask me about my journey and what it's like and how I can help people today. And that's been a gift all in itself. Overcoming those little obstacles that stay in front of you is a paramount thing for any individual. So if there's anybody who works in the industry is struggling, I'm always happy to share my story. And there's challenges that are going to come along every day. And I think that if somebody works a good program for themselves, there's nothing that can really hurt you. Anyways, that's my challenge. So hope you all have a great day. Goodbye.